Welcome back to another episode of RimWorld. My name is Tobal. Our caravan group is on the way home. Last episode, we did have them run out to try to get to a peace conference. Unfortunately, it seems that everything fell apart. I have no idea why. I guess there is a chance of randomness to it. Emily is our newest recruit, and Emily actually has, I pull up her information tab, her bio is actually showing that she's a very, very high-skilled social person. So, in theory, that possibly should have gone through. Unfortunately, there was a bit of randomness. Maybe RNG was not too kind to us, and so the talk still failed. Otherwise, though, our main base is looking pretty big. We've expanded quite a bit. Of course, it still looks like a hot mess in terms of the flooring, but we're going to get that fixed up. Maybe this episode, now that things are starting to calm down in terms of how many outstanding jobs there are. Logan has been busy resetting the traps that we've had. Now, these traps have defended us for about, what, 3 or 4 raids now, or 3 or 4 events in sort. So between wild man-hunting packs and different enemies trying to raid us, we're doing pretty well. The farms are finally all caught up. You can see things growing at a different rate because Adnamare, was it Adnamare or Cyberdank? Yeah, Adnamare has the cooking skills, so he was able to come out and get everything planted, but not everything is coming out at the same time. No, it's not a big deal, to be honest, though. We'll clean that up. Otherwise, everything's starting to get stored. We've got our, hopefully soon we'll have some more block production, because I'd really like to make sure we have enough blocks to put down all the nice floor. And I do plan to have a nice stone floor all the way through the main area of the base. We have carpet installed in everyone else's bedroom, so everyone should be fairly happy about that. Worm is currently trying to mine out the area that we're going to use for a medical area, like a hospital. So down the road, when we inevitably have some kind of injury, hopefully that'll get taken care of. The only thing that's outstanding right now are the power conduits that need to be installed to take to give power to our newly placed coolers. So once that's all set up, our coolers should re-engage again. Yeah, we've got a lot of veggies in here, but they're going to go bad eventually, but right now they're still okay. So it's not the most critical thing in the world. I could have Logan prioritize it, but I think he'll probably get to that in either tomorrow or the next day. We've got a couple of floor pieces to put in. The other major things right now I'm concerned about are sappers. Attacks from sappers or drops from... because there are enemies who can drop in by using the pods. So the caravans run out of food. That's not too terrible. It would be if it's a really long journey, but I think they're going to make it home later today. So they'll come home hungry, but they're not going to starve to death in the span of, just a couple hours, half a day. Thankfully, that's not a thing that'll happen. Let's watch Logan for a bit, see what he does during his day. I really haven't spent a lot of time watching our characters to see how they interact during the day, so I'm curious of what everyone's up to these days. I should put a build back here to make wort whenever we can. I don't think we have any hops that are harvested. Yeah, all the hops have been turned into beer for quite a while. And all the... Cyberdink, are you the chef? Who's the chef? Yeah. We need to watch Cyberdink, too, because I want him to start making more... Oh, it's interesting. Wort is held down here. Okay, I need to change that real quick. Let's drop... Where the heck does wort show up at? Hops. Oh, that's right. It's hops, not wort. We need to add hops as a resource to get dropped off here. Okay, there we go. That way our hops will be in the right spot. I just gotta take it right down here. Okay, so we probably want to also add that... Ah, crap. We also want to add that wort is allowed over in this area, which I think is under... What the heck is it under? There we go. Everything should be stored in the freezer now. So we have a blight. We have to immediately take care of this. Any of the crops that have a blight symbol on them, which is this kind of this orangish color, need to be cut immediately. So I'm going to make note of who has cutting, which is Adnamare at 3. Got it. So I'm going to return him to that in just a minute. We're going to give an order to cut probably this whole section of plants. I'm not too worried about it. I'm going to be a little more specific here. The problem is we need to get this cut immediately. If there are any plants that have blight, it will spread to other crops. So we need to have everyone come over here and start cutting. By the way, if you're not familiar with what I'm doing, I'm holding shift and scrolling the mouse wheel to group change the priority level. That's really helpful if you have to have everyone do something important like cutting down crops that are blighted. Does anything else have a blight on it that might come back to haunt us? I don't think so. Like I mentioned, we're gonna cut this entire section of corn down because it was really interspersed in the corn. Okay, so I believe we've taken care of the blight. Unfortunately, we've lost most of our corn crop, but we have plenty of backup available. I'm gonna go back to changing this to nobody having the ability, and Adamir going having it at 3. Okay, one emergency averted. How is our... Oh, good. Our group's actually almost home. So they're going to come home, probably eat up a bit. I'm going to change the custom work stuff here. I'm going to go over to cooking. I want... Yeah, Butcher Corpse is still a high level. I want Butcher Corpse to be first, cook meals at stove to be second, and then we'll process the wort. We'll process the brews, because we need food more than we do alcohol right now. All right, so the caravan has arrived back home. They should be coming in from the side here. Nice. Welcome home, Emily Caravan. Unfortunately, you guys weren't successful in your peace talks, but I heard it's... Oh my god, you guys. No way. Are you kidding me? I didn't think they could hit traps. Oh my gosh. Bert just walked over a trap and died. I could have sworn that your colonists never hit traps. Are you serious right now? Oh, no. We're gonna roll with it. I mean, that's what happens, unfortunately. Now I know, but holy crap. Does everyone have a chance of getting killed here? She's 85 years old. She's an 85-year-old bodyguard. You're screwed on your own, sorry. Well, crap. That's horrible. Can we make this so that nobody goes through there? How do we make it so... I mean, I guess I could put a door back in here. That is so nuts. I could have sworn that your characters never hit the traps here. Well, crap. Well, that's a huge bummer, guys. I'm super bummed about this. I really liked Bert. Bert was our... was he a lover of anyone? No? He recently got turned down with by Ellie, so Ellie's gonna maybe feel a little bit bad about that situation. Of course, not Ellie's fault or anything. I guess I have to add in a couple of doors now. I'm so bummed. I'm so bummed about that. We were doing so good. Let's give ourselves a bit of a buffer. We'll do something like this. We'll do like a little bit of a airlock. Oh my gosh, that is horrible. So maybe, I guess, if they build out the doors and the walls, people will use the doors instead of walking through the trap. Now I'm really nervous. I mean, what made him... Was it because it's a corner trap? Was that the problem? Like, are you seriously stealing his food? Damn, Ellie, you have no shame. What do we want to do for... I think we want to make a sarcophagus, to be honest. Out of... we're going to do this in Dwarven style. We're going to make it out of stone. Let's make a slate. How much does it cost? Slate sarcophagus. We don't have enough slate blocks for it. We do have enough limestone, so we'll make it out of limestone. Where do we want our honored and chosen dead to lay at rest? Maybe alongside the river, you know? I mean, a little tiny graveyard. Maybe over here where the farmland is. I don't want them too close to the other people. That's fine. We'll do it over here. This is where our hallowed dead will rest. Oh... I'm super bummed, you guys. I'm so sad about that. I want to make sure... I'm going to open the settings here for all the graves and make sure that they don't allow... How do I do this? Oh, I can do the settings of 1. So I need to say... Or these filled. Okay, there we go. So storage, not of colonists. That's what we want to do. We don't want colonists to be interred here. Wow, we have barely any grave sites left. We're gonna have to look into that mod for cremation. Although actually, it's not even a mod. I think we can do it with the... We should be able to do it with the electric crematorium. Let's make it out of, I guess, sandstone, even though we don't really have enough blocks for any of it. That's probably the first thing that we'll be able to do. I'm going to put this in on the corner, so we'll eventually be able to burn clothing and bodies. So I'm so sorry, Bert. Oh, death is following us everywhere. I'll try to put in these walls. Hopefully that won't happen again. I don't know if I need to disable all these traps or what. Maybe Bert was super tired or something like that. That's so sad. I'm so super sad about that. I'm going to have Logan prioritize... Oh, Worm's already working on that. Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Worm. How kind of you. So, we'll have Worm work on the sarcophagus. And... you know what? Maybe we'll... I don't see anything for... I was going to think about putting something nice down, but I don't think it matters. Whoa, what did I get? The high security fence. Hello? What is this from? Max hit points 8... What the crap? I've never seen this before. The steel high security fence has hit points of 850. What does it require to build? 20 steel, that's it? I mean, that's it. That's actually quite a bit of steel, but if we have a ton of steel... The reason I normally don't use steel is because it's so expensive to use. A wooden wall has 225 health. Slate wall has 500. What is this from? Did I unlock this somehow? Okay, what about chain link fence? This must be from the fence mod, and maybe I unlocked a later version of it. I love it. I mean, I absolutely love the idea of putting a steel security fence up. To me, that makes more sense that a group of survivors would put up, like, you know, security fencing. How much would this cost us overall? If we did a high security fence here, it would cost us 800 steel to put down. Although I think we've been getting quite a lot of steel lately from our Worm doing all the hard work. Let's remove the rest of this ceiling area, and then I'm going to order this to be constructed, or deconstructed rather, or mined out. We do have quite a bit of steel. I mean, I almost feel like it would be worth it to at least reinforce some of our weak points. This is, you know, this is a pretty deep weak point here. That is so crazy. I've never seen that steel fence before. We didn't ever finish the sarcophagus, so I'm going to have Logan work on that for just a minute, and then we'll probably bury poor Bert and let him rest. That is so awfully sad. Let's have somebody, Azazel, if you wouldn't mind, please, hauling Bert to the, to lime. Yeah, okay, so limestone. Please don't step on a trap while you're at it. I'm really nervous now. I'm on edge right now. I'm guessing it was just the way he came around the corner, because this trap is at an angle. Maybe he couldn't do this diagonally. I'm going to cancel the rebuilding of that trap, though, just in case that's, you know, I don't want that to ever happen again. So, unfortunately, here lies Bert. Leg care of Bert is what this is called somehow. I have no idea why. Oh, there's art on it. Gray swooping arcs with gray highlights over a grassland. Bert watches with awe on his face. This work suggests the concept of desire. The subjects are in front of a squid. Oh, that's so cute. The whole thing represents Bert's feelings towards the town being illuminated by the light of an aurora way back in the day. I'm super bummed about this, you guys. All right, so we're going to move on from the loss of Bert with strength, and I'm sure it won't be the first loss. I guarantee you it will not be the first loss we feel. With the addition of these fences, though, this does offer a new opportunity for us. Do we want to press forward with steel? Or do we want to stick with the stone walls? I mean, that's a lot of stone to use up. I would rather use the stone on flooring and maybe put the steel wall in some of our weak spots. Maybe that's the better idea. We've already got a wooden wall. It's unlikely that somebody will attack like this part of the wall over this part. Like, they'll probably just walk through it. Although what I would like of this, what'll be nice though, is if we have a steel wall here, we can put down a steel gate. So people can just come and you know, come and go as they please, like the steel high security fence gate. We can have an entrance instead of them having to, you know, run around like crazy. Who's going crazy here, Ellie? Ellie's taking out her aggression on an innocent What is that, a llama? Alpaca? Ellie, we need to talk about your marksmanship. We really do. I think that animal's actually almost dead. Is that rotten? Missing body parts. Rotting. Okay, so it's not quite bad. Hopefully that's not bad meat. That actually might be. Did we not have this area refrigerated? Oh, everything's up and running. I didn't change the temperature down to the right degree. So let's bring everything down to -3. This room should start cooling off very, very quickly. I'm also going to remove this door and replace it with the wall because I want people, for the most part, to come through one entrance here. And now that everything's starting to get organized, I'm going to rip down this wall. I want our kitchen to expand into the extra space back there. Let's have Logan turn around and make... Did I not drop it down? If you could please build this wooden wall, that way we continue freezing our area here. Nice. Okay, so our freezer is successfully going down in temperature. If you look at the temperature in the bottom right-hand corner, we are reaching -3 degrees. So that is 4 of these are enough to cool this down. What else do we have to think about right now? We've got people filling in some holes and gaps. I'm still trying to basically have everyone fill in the weaknesses, the weak areas on our walls here. I want a big buffer, at least 3 or 4 walls thick of any major part of our base. The gate part, I don't mind too much. This is a weakness here. How this only has 3 pieces of wood. In fact, what I'll do is put down that new steel... We'll put down the new steel fencing inside of here. That's what I'll do for the moment. I'll use this steel high security fence for a lot of our weak areas first, and then maybe we'll think about extending, making a double layer, maybe making a wooden inner wall and a steel outer wall. And then we could just eventually replace the entire wooden wall. So, that drives me nuts. Do you guys still prefer to take... Oh, it wasn't done yet. Let's have Logan finish this up. Okay, now that both of these doors are here, I'm curious to see if people will choose better pathfinding options than going through the trip of the traps of death here, and I think they will. Okay, good. Hopefully we shouldn't run into that problem again. We should have no more Burt incidents. Oh, that's awful. We still need... What are we lacking right now? Is anyone working on crafting, by the way? We've got a couple people who are doing crafting after everything else is done. So maybe we can start making some of the blocks into flooring down the road. Logan still is not, is still got a ton of stuff to do. Poor Logan, I think, is one of the busiest people, one of the busiest pawns in our group here. That doesn't look too bad. This is the bridge morphing with the rest of the wooden floors, so I don't think that looks terrible. All of these areas are clear. Are you guys still cleaning and whatnot? Emily, are you the cleaner? I can't quite remember now. Emily's doing cleaning, but she's also... Did I mean to have her cooking? I don't remember if I meant to do that. Maybe we didn't change this setting. I think I really want Ellie to do the animal handling, and I want Emily to focus on just doing some extra stuff. That's right. I think we were going to have Ellie, maybe Emily, rather, can work on doing the crafting. So she'll go down and she'll start to grind out a lot of these blocks. Eventually she'll get her skill up. So we've got a crematorium that needs to be made. We've got our tailoring bench. We can start getting into the rest of the production tree now. So things like machining table, although machining may not be super needed right at the start. We've got a electric smithy. What else do we want to have? We've got a smelter. Do we need a smelter? I don't remember if smelter was for... I think smelters are for... Oh, no, that actually lets you make... I think that lets you make other things other than, like, swords and whatnot. I thought one of these lets you make swords and things that we may not need right now. We'll add a wool loom in here. So we've got our research benches up. Nice. We've got our research bench back up and running again. I kind of have forgotten all about that. It's getting a bit of a boost because of the wooden file cabinet. What other production do we need to worry about right now? We've got our tailoring, we've got our smithy, machining table, we've got a fueled stove now in place, our brewery is set up, stonecutter's table's fine. We'll add in a sculptor's table, because somebody's actually really good at art. Don't we have somebody that's good at art? Yes, that's Ellie. So maybe if Ellie isn't doing anything else, maybe she'll work on designing some sculptures for us at some point. Wonderful. A couple things that just quality of life items that I've forgotten about for a while. We can add our our doormats back because everything is kind of set where we want it again. So we'll add doormats in the entrances to the base. All right. Everyone is sleeping nice and soundly, despite the fact that recently one of their own just went down under a hail of steel spikes through the gut. Okay, so we've researched flak armor. What's left on the research queue? I've not checked on this in a while. We've got biofuel, water mill generator, gas operation. Gas operation will let us have machine guns, which will be kind of nice. Anything else? Yeah, I think we want to work on maybe getting... We're not really going to be out of steel for a while, so I'm not worried about using transport pods just yet. You can basically go to another part of the map and mine a different area on the map. This is also useful for going on long-range missions. So if you want to go across the map to try to get trade done, or you want to try to get a rocket going, we could do that as well. I think I'm going to add in the hospital bed, sterile materials. That way we've got this ahead of time. We've got this ready to go in case anyone gets in a fight. Do we want fire foam? We don't have too much trouble with fire yet. That might just be a good safety option. It's one of those things that are better to have it done early than late. We'll add in solar generation. I don't think we're going to go with any of the melee weapons right now. Power management, I believe, lets you automate the turning off and on of power, if I recall. I don't think I've done it too much. We'll add a glassworks to this as well down the road. We're going to need glass. Moisture pump can suck water and moisture out of the swampy areas, I think. So something like this that says it's mud. A moisture farm or a moisture pump will let this dry up to be dirt where you can build on it. What about our manager work? Do we have enough of everything? Where are we at? We've got people ordering... We only have 200 meat right now. I think we're always going to be hunting for the most part. To be fair, I don't think we need that much meat at any given time. We can actually bring this down to 200. So 200 meat is what we want in storage at all times. What about wood? We've got tons of wood. I guess our target's only 500, so we're way over the limit of that. What about the mining? We have compacted steel. We've got over 300 steel in inventory. I think I'm going to bump this up to like however much we can take at one time. Maybe 1,000. We're going to go through steel like crazy. So while we're not using it yet, because we're still constructing our manufactories, we're going to want to mine as much as possible. Wasn't this compacted machinery? It is compacted machinery and then compacted plasteel. Okay, so we're doing pretty well. I think I'm pretty excited. We did put down a gate here, a high security fence, so that's one pathway that's now secure and blocked off. Do we want to do that anywhere else? It's just that to do this across this entire wall is so much in terms of material cost that I'm a little bit nervous in doing it. Alright, so what can we build at our machines here? So the machining table lets us make really advanced weapons and armor. I didn't mean to click on that. We can also start to make explosives and shells, which we can use in mortars and things like really high, powerful weaponry. The smithy lets us do what? Okay, smithy is all about, excuse me, simple metal items. Electric smelter will let us smelt slag, smelt metal from slag, so we'll do a permanent order for that. We never did replace our orders to make better clothing, so let's give ourselves an order to do button-down shirts, dusters, and pants. And you know what? Cowboy hats too. So, no, we don't need cowboy hats. We'll probably wind up having everyone have a helmet on at any given point. So I want to have this until we've got probably 10 made. We're going to count the equipped ones. We don't care what it's made out of. I don't care at this point if everyone has different color clothing. We're going to pause this order. When it's satisfied, it'll re-engage itself when we have only 8 out of the 10. And we want something like only high-quality items. So 51 on the hit quality, hit points, and decent quality of item itself. And so I'll do that. Same thing for the other ones too. I think when something goes down below 50%, I'm not sure exactly which one it is, but I believe it's at 50% is when it starts to become tattered. It might be even lower than that. It might be something like 30. But that's the reason I'm setting a hit point requirement. Once we have a good balance of clothing, I will go into our restricted menu and make sure people are dropping clothes off when they don't have, when the clothes become less than 50% quality, people will drop it off. And then we'll have the electric smelter here. We're actually going to have it burn any clothing that is of low quality. So that way you can keep your base nice and clean. I'm going to hide that. We finally just took the wall down of our kitchen area. I'm going to add another butcher table here. And we're going to make it out of steel to make sure it's nice and clean. And what I'm going to do is add a... basically make this a separate room, I think is what I'll do. I don't really think we need all this much space for the full kitchen. But our butchery area will go in here. And then we'll have the butcher come through the door. And what I'll do is have a zone that's just specifically right on the other side of this door, just for animals so that they can get stored. So I'll cancel this other spot here. Well, I normally do like to organize the storage areas a little better. So I like to have things like all the raw materials should be right next to the kitchen, right? All the drugs should be somewhere that's easily accessible as well in case there's an emergency. Which makes me think maybe I do want to add a door back to the top area. That is kind of a good point. If we're in a hospital, the first thing the doctor will do is come... Ooh, you know what? Hey, there we go. That's a thought. Let's do that. Let's have a door inside the hospital, and we'll have that door just go right into the storage area. We'll put down a stockpile zone. This is probably big enough. We're going to make this only drugs, and it's very important that the drugs get here. Medicine and drugs. You know what? We don't want beer. The rest of this is fine to get stored here. Okay. We're going to do drugs there. Drugs and medicine here. We're going to do dead animals here. I'll actually expand this so this is also a 3x3 zone. And what else do we want to have? 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. We'll do... I could expand this out. I mean, there's not really a whole lot of other concerns. I guess what I'll do is I'll make a zone here. And I'm going to have this zone be completely for wort and hops. And then we're going to clear this area up, and we're only going to include raw food here. Sure, chocolate cake, kibble, pemmican, that's fine. Medicine won't go here. I guess beer can temporarily go here. But what we'll say is I think this is actually currently set to be the important setting. So important takes precedence over the preferred priority. So this should get reorganized here in a minute. But yeah, we're going to keep our raw food in this spot right next to the kitchen area. We're going to put our butchered corpses right here. Yeah, this is going to work out pretty well. It does make our butcher have to walk a good ways to deal with it. But that's kind of okay. We could make a complicated portal system where people have to... side note, I actually want to put auto doors in here. We could put a portal. And what I mean by a portal is kind of how we have it... I'm obsessed with making things even, honestly. A portal is kind of like this. So how we have this, or airlock system, where you've got one door that might open, the other one might close. Doing that would slow down the escaping air that leaves the refrigerated area. I don't think it's that big of a deal, though. We're not really that desperate for power, I guess, at the moment. I'm going to put a tame order and see if... who even does that? Ellie? I'm going to see if Ellie can tame a Mega Sloth. That'll be fun, I'm sure. Watch her get attacked immediately. I believe in you, Ellie. Okay. 1.9 chance of failing or 1.9 chance of actually doing it? Yeah, maybe we're not going to get this done at any point. This is probably not the best animal to start taming with. I don't know how else you practice, though. I believe that you only get practice from failure. So, nice. All the female colonists are going to have a Psychic Soothe take effect right now. So that'll make them a little bit happier. Everyone's going to get a bit of a moodlet. That's nice for Emily, because Emily's been down in the dumps for quite a while. What do you mean, hideous environment? No? Okay, that's fair. It is actually pretty ugly. Well, then you just need to get on the limestone production. We've got our crematorium coming up. Alright, so what I'm going to do is... Oh, that would be so gross. Do we want to, like, uproot all of the bodies? I don't think we want to do that. But from here on out, I'm going to set an order to do cremate corpse. Specifically, I want to do it forever, but only for non-colonist corpses. Strangers, I don't really... Okay, so I'm going to have two separate orders. This is for cremating humans, okay? So we're going to cremate any non-colonist humans. I'm going to close that. I'm going to add in a new order, cremate corpse. This time I'm going to do forever. I'm only going to cremate rotten animal corpses. I guess we'll also allow the stranger corpses too. But this way, if we have any animals that have rotten inside of our storage, we'll have someone to, somewhere to send them. Next, I'm going to burn apparel. This is a really nice setting where you can basically burn any of your really crappy old clothing. You can set it so that it only burns something that is between 0 and 49% hit points, and anything that's like awful or poor quality. Oh, sorry, I need to do this in two orders. I need to have one that burns low quality items and one that burns low hit point items. So, we'll do two orders. And this time, instead of doing low hit points, I'll say any hit points. If they're awful or poor, I want them burned. Okay? We could also burn drugs. I might have that... I might actually do forever. I don't want to burn beer. What is this? Mechanites? I think I'm going to keep those. Luciferum. Penoxycline we're going to keep. The rest of this I don't think I care too much about. So we're going to have a job that burns the drugs that are in anywhere that are stored. Mostly because I don't want any of our folks to get addicted to anything at this point. Alright. We're making progress. How about I give you two orders here? I've got you making sandstone blocks. Why don't we switch this up a bit? I want you to make... Oh, sure. We'll say 2,000 sandstone blocks. In the event that you ever actually manage to make 2,000 blocks, we'll have you make slate blocks instead. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. Let's just have her do 1,000 at a time. Alright. That way we can at least get some variation if we want to make, you know, one hallway slate, one hallway limestone, or sandstone. I don't think I really like the way sandstone looks either, but it is what it is. Cyberdink started a social fight with Azazel. Aren't you guys lovers or no? Who's lovers here? No, that's right. Azazel insulted Cyberdink's body. Wow, Azazel called Cyberdink fat. Look how skinny. Oh, he probably called him skinny. You guys are jerks to each other. Why don't you just calm down? A bite mark? Good night. Azazel, what is your problem? They bit... No, how did this happen? So, Cyberdank bit off Azazel's left middle toe. Or it just struck. It says struck. Breaking her left middle toe. Azazel bit... Oh my, what a hot mess. I can't keep you guys anywhere near each other anymore. Who's our doctors, by the way? Cyberdink, which is one of them, and Ellie. Are you guys coming to help out? Actually, I thought I gave you an order to treat yourself before you did bed rest. Alright, Ellie's gonna grab some herbal medicine because it's just a pretty weak little wound. Adnamir's like just sitting next to his wife who's bleeding all over the place in bed. We can't take in. You guys can't take you guys anywhere. What does this do by having a missing toe? Oh, could we give you... You're a transhumanist. Could we possibly give you an operation to give you a false toe? Okay, that's not gonna happen. I guess you'd have to lose all of them. Okay. Oh man, what a hot mess. Leave you guys alone for like 3 seconds and you're trying to kill each other. Goodness gracious. Okay, so otherwise, our storage is looking good. We've got a lot of wort. I think I wanted to... That's our new butchering table, so we're going to do butcher creature always. I also need to drop a ceiling light in here. It's a pretty sad looking room. We'll cancel the rest of this little area, and I think what I'm going to do is add an entire section dedicated to liquor production. We'll do fermenting barrels all along the wall here. Where are we going to put the brewery? Can go right here. Is it really cold in the entire base right now? Is it freezing? How is it so cold? Do we have a leak? Or is it just because this is so cold it's actually pushing through? That's really interesting. It might be... No, I think it's actually just really cold all over the place. We've got some really interesting temperature things happening. It's 0 degrees in the hallway. Oh, I have this wall wide open. Why don't you fix that one, Logan, if you don't mind, please? All right, we'll add another auto door next to the brewery. This will probably wind up being the rest, all we need here. I'll adjust that over just a smidge. I want you to prioritize that. So yeah, so he'll basically do all the brewing will come here. All the hops will be dropped off up top. In this zone, we'll bring them down to the fermenting barrels. That should be enough to probably do each harvest on its own. And then once they go back to becoming wort, they'll come be made into liquor. The rest of this area I will probably split into a pretty decent sized kitchen. In the event that we ever get a second chef, you know, we can have a couple people working on this at the same time. Is this really needed, this much space? No, not whatsoever. Way more space than we really need right now. How many blocks is it per... Slabs are 2. Rough paving is 3. The rest of these are 3 and 5. I think I like the hex paving. Let's give our... How much is this going to cost us? 432. Let's give our first flooring order for the dining hall to be hex limestone. That'll take quite a while to finish. Do we want to just put something down here temporarily? We have a ton of wood, don't we? We have a ton of wood. Let's go ahead and do a nice wooden floor in the hallway. Someday I might actually change that, but for the moment, because I'm just tired of looking at this disgusting floor the way it is, I'm going to add in... Oh, we'll do the fancier floor. We'll do vertical floorboards here. It will use up quite a bit of wood, but like I mentioned, we have quite a ton right now. I'm not too concerned about it. The rest of the area, what did we want to drop down? We've got wooden floorboards. Our hospital's done. At some point, we're going to research sterile materials, which will let us make silver flooring, which reduces the chance of infection in your hospital. Super, super important. And you guys are putting the walls in place. That's kind of nice. I hate that patchwork. We might fix that one day, but right now I just want to have it done. We're definitely due a raid, so we might probably get that next episode, I'm assuming. We haven't had a raid or an accident, other than Bert, in a hot minute. So at some point we'll have to get that taken care of. Do you have any limestone anywhere? I want to give you an order to make some limestone. At least enough to have to build one of these. And I'm actually going to make this the highest priority right now. Just enough to make a sarcophagus. Actually, we'll just do 60. That way they don't have to do a ton of work on this. Alright, guys. We're doing pretty well. I could start looking into making some armor. And I think that it's probably really important to have ourselves with... God, 1 component per... Nah, that's not terrible. I'm going to make... I don't know why I did that. You can make it... What the crap was that? Meteorite just landed right in the middle of base. Holy crap. I came out of nowhere. We almost got wrecked on that. Hi, Granite. How you doing? We could give ourselves an order to have... I think we have a 7 now. Oh, we're back down to 8. Okay, so we have 8 colonists. We could have like a wartime outfit So we give everyone, say, flak jacket, flak pants, flak hat. Flak hat, not really, just a helmet. Advanced helmets require 2 components per, while the basic helmets give you just 1. What's the difference here? It also requires plasteel, which we might actually have enough of, because there was some exposed plasteel. Either way, I'm going to stick with simple helmets for the moment. I do want to also add a couple of rifles in, if we can make those. I generally prefer people to be equipped with rifles over much else. I'm going to add a couple of EMP grenades, because in the event that we get, somehow we manage to pull robots, I want to have an emergency ready to go. So this is more of just a proactive thing. Otherwise, we're melting slag into metal. We are not going to do anything with the smithy for a bit. I could probably take out the smithy and add in the tool cabinet, which gives you a little bit of a boost to anything in the area. Maybe I'll do this. That looks kind of neat. We could also drop down our comms console. The comms console is cool. Also, the orbital trade beacon. This is where you can trade items to other people. Now, does this work inside? It can be placed indoors. Okay. So I guess in theory we could put this in a room that we want all of our trade goods to happen at. Sure, okay. Enjoy your death. And we're done. I'm going to give an order to hunt that. Alright, well, thank you guys so much for joining me for this episode of RimWorld. I do hope everyone is enjoying the series. I apologize for the sad death of Bert. I did not know that they can die from their own traps, so sad that Bert came and went, but thankfully he wasn't one of our original 4 characters. I think I'm going to start looking into renaming everyone now that everyone has died. Can we do that? I thought you could rename. Yeah, you can rename everybody. So I'll probably go through the subscriber list next episode. Or, I don't know, they've been around for a minute. Do you guys want to keep these names? That would be kind of messed up. We've kind of grown attached to Ellie, Diver, and Worm, haven't we? Any other... and I kind of got excited about new recruits, so I didn't name anyone right off the bat. Any other recruits we find, I will go ahead and rename them after subscribers. So thank you guys so much for joining me for this episode of RimWorld. I will continue to make more RimWorld content, of course, because RimWorld is amazing. I do hope that you take care, and I'll see you next episode.